Welcome to University of Phoenix Stadium. Rich Gray alongside Bob Kemp, and the magic, the Cardinals magic here at this stadium comes to an end as the Bills win in overtime 19-16. Plenty of mistakes on the field by the Cardinals, and they really let this win slip away.
Yeah, I think it started right off the bat. I don't think they showed up and they got kind of got shoved around, quite frankly, in the first quarter. I think that kind of set a tone for the rest of the game, and they were fighting uphill the whole way. They're used to fighting uphill, but they're usually making game-winning plays in the last half of these games. And today they made a lot of game-losing plays, whether it was 5 more sacks, whether it was 2 interceptions over the middle on passes that were late down the middle, one from each quarterback, including Skelton in overtime, and whether it was William Powell not knowing the play when Skelton got injured. There's a whole bushel of plays that they just did not make, and they made those plays. And of course, the blocked field goal at the end of regulation, after Feely had made the 61-yarder, the 38-yarder was blocked. And I'm going to have to look at the replay a couple times. I'm not sure where the breakdown was, but that ball was definitely tipped.
Yeah, and you mentioned the quarterbacks, Kevin Kemp, who did a nice job of scrambling and avoiding the rush, gets injured, leaves the game. John Skelton comes in, and it was a little bit of deja vu for a while because he put the Cardinals in position to win the game.
Yeah, he did. The 4th and 11 play to Fitzgerald to set them up, and yeah, the Bills also did some of the dumbest things in the history of modern football to try to give the Cardinals the victory. And I think that's probably even more frustrating. Whether it was the Brad Smith Hail Mary interception, they're ahead, folks, when it was a Hail Mary. That's usually not a good idea. Or whether it was some bizarre timeout management. I thought that Chan Gailey managed to be about one of the worst games you could ever see where a coach actually won the game.
And despite all of that, C.J. Spiller seemed to have a breakout game. The Cardinals had issues with him the entire game.
That guy's really fast. I mean, you can watch on TV, but every once in a while you see a guy live and you go, whoa. And he's one of those whoa guys. Kind of reminds me of Reggie Bush the first time I saw him when he was playing against ASU. He's just, he's good, but fast and quick. But Spiller's he was one of the quickest guys I've ever seen. And I'm not exaggerating. And he should get more touches.
You would think, yeah.
Yeah.
You would think about that. But again, Kevin Kemp, not the only injury. Kerry Rhodes left with the back. And that's just another injury for a banged-up defense.
Yeah, and there's actually not 100%. He left early. He left once with a back, probably. He came back in and he got clipped pretty bad. Maybe very illegally on that play that he got hurt. So there's actually some speculation that may be a leg and not a back the second time he went out. So, they obviously are already beat up. I think that really hurt him on special teams today. Without Adams and Toller out there, there was a big after the safety, they had a 39-yard return on the ensuing free kick, and I don't think that happens if Toller and Adams are out there. So that was just another bad play that swung field position. And when you're playing games like this every week, field position makes a big difference.
Absolutely. Now, before we kind of tease what you have in store in your show tomorrow, what was your impression of William Powell?
Oh, okay. He got some yards, but I actually think it had a lot to do with the fact that the Bills are the worst rushing defense in the league. I think it had more to do with that than anything else. And when they did get yards, it was almost always behind Batiste and Derek College, who was knocking the crap out of guys out here today. He had a very good game. The right side of the offensive line was atrocious. Jeff King had a rough time pass blocking when he was even supposed to chip against Mario Williams. He whipped on him one time, and that happened, and that resulted in a sack. They had 10 days to get that fixed, and they didn't fix it.
So what should we expect in tomorrow's show?
Gloom and doom.
Yeah. Well, look at their schedule. We mentioned it on the walk down here. They got a brutal schedule going.
Well, we think the first thing tomorrow, obviously, the Whisenhunt press conference, which we'll have at noon in the Sports Zone, and at that time, I'm sure we'll find out more about Kevin Kemp and Kerry Rhodes, and some of the others who didn't even play today. I mentioned Toller, and also Michael Adams, Todd Heap out again. That's, I think, becoming a real serious issue, the fact that he just can't play. All the games that he's missed the last 2 years, that's a completely wasted contract.
And also with John Skelton coming in, it's going to make it even a little more difficult to kind of keep winning games like this with all the other problems.
Yeah, you would think, even though they won games with him last year.
That's true.
But those games were here for the most part. So that's the Vikings got their butts handed to them today. So that's probably a good thing. Or that place could have been pretty crazy next week. It's a loud place anyway, but they were like 5-1. So maybe that took a little momentum out of them. Of course, last year the Cardinals went there. That might have been the worst first half that the Cardinals have played in the Whiz-A-Nut era. They were down 28-0 at the end of the first quarter up there last year. And that's when they only won 3 or 4 games. All that happened. Nav was still playing.
Yeah, that was Adrian Peterson show.
That was first buzz. Nav could at least hand off.
That's true. Don't talk about him too much. He might be getting phone calls tomorrow.
Oh, I'm sure that's somebody. They need to pick up Donovan McNabb. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
He's seen that Donovan McNabb's bigger than I am as far as waist-wise. He's on the NFL Network now. He's huge.
Yeah, he is pretty big. Well, for Bob Kemp, I'm Rich Gray. Again, the Cardinals Magic in 8-game home winning streak snap. The overtime Magic, they can't find it. Bills win 19-16.
They still have a score up here. They used to take the score down when they lost here. Now
they keep it up. They didn't have it up when after the wins.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true. I do like that.
I'm just checking the scoreboard there.
So for Bob Kemp, I'm Rich Gray. We will talk to you tomorrow on the Fan AM 1060.